Hi everyone, my name is Matt Marenka, and for the final case study presentation, the case that I was given is O'Bannon versus the NCAA. So now for a little bit of background information on the O'Bannon versus NCAA case. Ed O'Bannon was a former UCLA basketball star who played on UCLA's famous 1995 national championship team, where he also won the NCAA basketball tournament Most Outstanding Player award. In July of 2009, O'Bannon then filed a lawsuit against the NCAA, the Collegiate Licensing Company, and Electronic Arts Inc., otherwise known as EA Sports to us. The lawsuit stated that after graduation, a former student athlete should become entitled to financial compensation for NCAA's commercial uses of his or her image. O'Bannon then went on to say that the NCAA violated the Sherman Act and also deprived him of his right of publicity by rebroadcasting games from their famous 1995 season and licensing the right to video game companies so that they could feature the famous team in their new game. O'Bannon, along with many other NCAA basketball and football players, said that the NCAA and their commercial partners unlawfully foreclosed former players from receiving any compensation that was related to the use of their names, images, likenesses in television broadcasts, rebroadcasts, and video games. So at the bottom of the slide, you'll see two pictures. The one on the left is Ed O'Bannon, and the one on the right is a player in NCAA basketball 2009. As you can see, both players have very similar skin tones. They're both bald. They're both wearing UCLA jersey number 31, and they both shoot lefty. So pretty much the player in NCAA 09 is an exact replica and is based off of Ed O'Bannon, which is why he decided to sue for likenesses. So now for the case outcome. In late 2013, co-defendants of the NCAA, Electronic Arts Inc., which is better known to us as EA Sports, and the Collegiate Licensing Company reached a settlement agreement with the plaintiffs for $40 million. Ed O'Bannon and almost 100,000 other NCAA basketball and football players that were also featured in EA Sports basketball and football video games will all see a piece of the $40 million. Since the end of this case, the NCAA and EA Sports split ways, and college sports video games pretty much came to an end. The last game that was made was NCAA Football 14, which came out in early July of 2013, and you could see a picture of the cover of that game in the bottom right corner. So, once the NCAA's co-defendants reached a settlement agreement with the plaintiffs, it was time for the NCAA's trial, which started in June of 2014 and lasted 3 weeks. On August 8th of 2014, a judge ruled that the NCAA's practice of barring payments to athletes was in violation of antitrust laws. It was ordered that schools should be allowed to offer full cost of attendance scholarships to athletes, which cover cost of living expenses that were not currently part of any NCAA scholarships. This judge also ruled that colleges will be permitted to place up to $5,000 into trust accounts for each athlete per year of eligibility. This was later overturned. The NCAA appealed this ruling, saying that the judge did not take into account the consideration of the NCAA versus Board of Regents of the University of Oklahoma. Their appeal was also denied. So now time to talk about the impacts that this case had. So after the lawsuit, the NCAA and EA Sports were forced to drop their contracts and walk separate ways. The lineup of NCAA football and basketball video games, which became really popular, had to come to an end in 2014. This upset many people, including me, who are still to this day waiting for the series to make a comeback. I myself was a big fan of NCAA video games. I really like getting to play with college kids opposed to pros. So I really hope that one day they can come back with a series. Another outcome of the case shows that the possibility of college athletes getting paid is even more slim than we thought. At the beginning of the case, there was a possibility that the NCAA was going to have to make unlimited payments to athletes, which would have been a radical change for the organization and college sports in general. But I think that the Supreme Court's refusing to even consider the case was a strong sign that college athletes aren't going to be getting paid anytime soon. I think that if they really wanted to make a change in college sports and give athletes some of the money that they bring in, I think that the Supreme Court really would have taken the time to review this case a lot more in depth and maybe even consider putting it to trial.